Hey Leo, welcome to June 2020. This month I'm pulling from my Modern Witch Tarot deck because I love it. And we'll see what comes up for you. Something. Ace of Wands. Page of Swords in reverse. Queen of Wands in reverse. Three of Wands in reverse. The Chariot in reverse. Six of Swords. Four of Cups in reverse. Ten of Cups in reverse. Okay, Knight of Pentacles. Two of Swords in reverse. So many reversals. And I think we're going to stop here. Four of Swords in reverse and the High Priestess in reverse. Okay, so I feel like for you, there is maybe like disappointment is coming to mind. Definitely hesitation. Definitely maybe kind of. Okay. Because I don't know. Actually, I mean, like, it's always interesting doing readings because, like, collectively it seems like kind of there are themes that pop up. And right now, especially Gemini season, I'm feeling kind of like being torn in two different directions. Or kind of like being between like a new chapter and an old chapter, which makes a ton of sense because we're like kind of maybe starting to exit quarantine, but we're also entering like a very scary world. So, for example, we got Four of Swords in reverse, and to me, Four of Swords is like the meditation, like resting after a battle. I mean, in this deck, it looks like she was hungover, and like this is the morning after, where she's kind of like just, you know, recovering from her night out, but it's in reverse. And we got this other Four of Cups in reverse, and the Four of Cups is like kind of about being. Then this is like where disappointment comes in, right? This girl like has these three cups, but she's like, man, like these three cups kind of suck. All I really wanted was this cup. But she's also so focused on these three cups that she's not so happy about that, like, even though this cup that she really wanted is being offered to her, she's not like really paying attention to it. Or maybe because it's coming through from another dimension, she doesn't really believe that it's there for her. And her shirt says over it, which is great. It's very helpful to me as a reader. So, but with it in reverse, I feel like whatever disappointment about the past, especially with this like Ten of Cups in reverse, right? Like this is like the happy ending, but it sounds like with all of this, it feels like to me that you wanted some kind of happy ending, maybe with a person or a romantic love interest or like a job or whatever. There was something that you were kind of like holding your hopes out for and like excited about, but then it just didn't really come to pass. And so maybe with this too, it's like, I think you're just sort of maybe finding peace and acceptance with that, especially with the Six of Swords, which is a card of moving on. Someone has equated this card with like death, that it's like the river Styx or something that they're moving down. But also there's with this card the imagery of like choppy waters moving into smoother seas. So lots of reversals, lots of kind of like disappointment, but also maybe the releasing of that disappointment or the acceptance of that disappointment. Because we got the Three of Wands in reverse too, and the Two of Swords in reverse. The Two of Swords is a card of indecision, or like kind of like this girl's blindfolded and like just doesn't like, can't see anything. But with it in reverse, along with the Three of Wands in reverse, which is about like looking out to what you want to manifest, like be like, look, she's like scouting, like, you know, how she's gonna get down to this water, right? To like maybe get into one of those boats. But all of this is in reverse. So I kind of just feel like maybe there was like a fantasy or a hope or like, again, like this happy ending that you wanted to come to fruition and it just hasn't or didn't. And I feel like you're simultaneously disappointed, but also finding clarity in the fact that you're not going to get this happy ending that you wanted. Because the Two of Swords is in reverse, Three of Wands in reverse, so it's like whatever, especially like the Chariot in reverse. I'm just like, sorry, I'm like just saying all these reverse, 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 but like, I guess Chariot in reverse is about like, Chariot is about like, moving forward, but I think you're kind of like, okay, whatever I wanted, and actually, maybe, for example, this is like kind of what I'm getting now, is like, let's say before coronavirus hit, you had like a big concert planned that you were going to like be the star of or something, right? Like, or a big performance. Like, this was going to be your big break. You were going to kind of finally be the lead of the show, and like everyone was going to come see you. Maybe you were going to get your big break, and your future agent was going to come to that, and it was going to make your career take off. And now all of a sudden, like, all those plans got canceled. So your happy ending just got like erased. And like that fantasy of like, oh shit, like it was finally going to happen for me. And then right as it was going to happen for me, like it all got taken away. Then you're like, okay, well now there goes my forward movement. But also with that, I think you're like, okay, well, as disappointed as I am that this didn't happen, I now know that it's not going to happen, and I'm not, like, waiting for it anymore. I'm not waiting for, like, that performance, that big concert. I'm not, like, counting on that to make my career move forward anymore. And maybe you're, like, kind of over that recovery period of, like, the hangover of, like, all my dreams got shattered at once. So, coming into June, it's kind of like you've made some peace with your disappointment, is what I'm getting. Like, the things that you thought were going to happen that didn't, that really kind of crushed you or really disappointed you, about your life not moving forward in the direction you thought it was going to, and the happy ending kind of going away. Well, you're like, all right, well, like, for example, I was supposed to go to a Johnny Mathis concert. This is not quite as heavy as maybe your reading ones, but Johnny Mathis is, like, a beautiful singer and very old, so, like, I was excited to go to his concert, because I was like, that might be the last time I have the opportunity to see him perform, because he's old, and kind of, who knows how long he's going to be singing for, right? Like, and then it canceled, so it's like, okay, well, that's not going to happen. How do I make peace with the dream and the fantasy that I was so close to, and that just kind of disappeared into thin air? Especially if it was more personal than that, though. So you're moving on, I think. There was kind of a little mini death. A little mini death of your expectations, your hopes, your dreams. And now you're kind of like, okay, well, where do I go from here? With the Ace of Wands, I feel like definitely this is your energy, this is fire energy. And with the Queen of Wands in reverse, I feel like there's a part, and the High Priestess in reverse, right? I think there's a part of you that knows, or has some faith, or has some hope that all of this is really in your highest good. And that maybe there's still something bigger and better waiting for you, even though you didn't get your happy ending that you thought you were just about to get. For example, if you were going to be the lead of the show, and, like, everyone was going to come out and see you, and now that's postponed until, like, 2021, 2022, well, maybe in this show, you were, like, you know, just the actor, right? And now, and I mean, that's very Leo of you, if that was true. I'm not saying you were an actor, I'm just saying whatever was almost there, but kind of went away, and now you're moving on from it. I think this is, like, kind of a time to innovate, and especially with the Ace of Wands, I think that you're excited to innovate. Maybe you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, maybe you're trying to, like, do something with Zoom, maybe you are investing in yourself in a new way, or maybe you're writing your own script that you can be the star of, that is, like, showcasing all of your talents. I think you definitely have something in the works, But with the High Priestess and the Queen of Wands in reverse, I kind of get the sense of, like, you're a little bogged down maybe by how much is coming to you. Like, maybe you have, because this is upright, right? Like the Ace of Wands. So it's like, maybe now you suddenly have so many new ideas coming to you and, like, so many potential things that you can work on that you're, like, a little unclear about what is the most interesting to you, what is going to have, like, the biggest payoff. And especially after being burned, maybe, by this past event of whatever kind of, like, disappearing and going away, maybe you're, like, a little hesitant to pour your passions and your hopes and your dreams into a new endeavor because there's just a little bit of that PTSD of, like, well, the last thing didn't work out. So that's what I get with this, right? It's like, you are excited, you do have the intuition, you do have, like, the energy and the drive to kind of start anew, but along with that just comes some personal overwhelm or kind of maybe just too many potentials, or maybe a lack of confidence in yourself that you can really do it, maybe a little bit of imposter syndrome. For example, if you've been an actor your whole life and now you're writing a script for yourself, like this girl, and, like, you're writing a part for yourself, well, maybe you're like, well, I've never really written anything, so can I do this? That's kind of what I get with this, is just, like, a little bit of, yeah, I've said enough about that. And then we got the Page of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles, and I would like to clarify both of these. So I would like to clarify the Knight of Pentacles, because the court cards can be tricky. I'm going to clarify the Knight of Pentacles, please. Thank you. Ha! Great. And Page of Swords. Great. Okay. It's so funny. The Seven of Cups came up. And then, like, I was like, even as I was talking about the Queen of Wands and the High Priestess in reverse, I was like, this is very Seven of Cups energy that I'm talking about, but the Seven of Cups isn't here, so I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of reading into it too much. But then the Seven of Cups came up, and I'm like, yep. So I think, yes, you are feeling a little overwhelmed with, like, how many new ideas are coming in. And also you might, I think now I'm getting, like, there's so much uncertainty in the world at large, like, maybe a part of you is like, what if that performance does come back? You know, like, what if that, like, big break that I was gonna have, like, what if that really is still in the cards for me? It's like you haven't maybe fully let go. As much as you're moving on from the past disappointment, maybe there's just a part of you that is still like, well, I don't want to invest too much energy in the new thing, because what about, like, how are things going to play out? I think you're trying too hard to predict the future, in a way. I.e., I mean, like, you're watching a tarot video. But tarot really isn't about predicting the future. The tarot is for kind of understanding our present moment and the energies we're dealing with, and, like, getting in touch with our story so that we can just kind of be at more peace with ourselves, I think. So with the Knight of Pentacles, too, it's like, I think what this card is calling on for you is to, like, kind of get a little grounded and find, like, some stability within yourself and within your creative process without, because I just think this stuff, right, this is, like, kind of messing you up a little bit, or it's just sort of, it's almost like a result of control issues. Like, you're wanting to, it's like you're so afraid of being disappointed again that you're just, like, not willing to take the risk, and so you're kind of getting, like, caught up in all these what-if scenarios. But I think this is saying, like, to the extent that you can, let go of the what-if scenarios, or just don't worry about what's coming and what's next. Just kind of get stable and grounded and find out what that means for you, and kind of, especially, like, think about, like, lightning, right? Like, doesn't lightning being, like, inspiration, being, like, kind of fiery energy, aren't there, like, things that people put on the ground, like those, like, metal things to, like, drive the lightning to go to a certain place? So I feel like that's kind of what It's like, how do you use the ground to focus the lightning? How do you use grounding energy to give direction to this Ace of Wands? So finding kind of that for yourself, because then we also have the Page of Swords in reverse and the Two of Wands upright, clarified by that. So then the Page of Swords in reverse is like you, I think, especially embarking on something new, and swords are communication, so this could be like writing, for example, as I've said. So it's like you're thinking about your new project, a little bit like kind of overwhelmed by just the past and what's going to happen in the future, kind of like neither here nor there. A little like, I can do all these things, but like, what's in my highest good? I don't know. So swords in reverse is like, I think you're hesitant. Again, this is like a hesitation for a new beginning due to a lack of mental clarity. And then the Two of Wands is, again, maybe inviting you to survey, take stock of your options, right? Like, really, maybe, because this girl is like looking out on the vista with her phone, and maybe she's like seeing like, okay, is it even safe to leave my house right now, or do I want to? So what I'm saying here is just, let's assume for a moment that the past is in the past and whatever you lost is not coming back. It may very well, but I don't think it does you good to cling on to that, because you already let go and made peace with it. So to like keep picking at that wound or to reopen it up doesn't really help. If it'll happen, but it most likely won't, and you've already kind of healed from it, so just don't pick at it. Don't like go back to the old wound. And then with the new ideas, accept that you're a little overwhelmed, accept that you don't quite know where it's going, and find some peace and stillness. Maybe meditate a little bit on it. High Priestess in reverse. Get her a little bit upright by being still with her and trusting that you do have answers within you. Find that oh, good lord. Got startled. Find that grounding and stability. See where you can go from here. And then that'll help maybe with you to channel this more efficiently in ways that are making you feel happy and reignited in a good way. Alright. That's your reading. Love you. Bye.